like right now. So it's just like, if you just wanted to know what Caitlyn Mechanics you should be practicing, then this is the video for you. So let's just open up some dummies, buy some items, you know, the good stuff, and let's get started. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so for combos, it's important to know that you should kind of be, you should know where your damage comes from. Okay, so what I mean by that is in the first half of the game, the early game to mid game, your combos are gonna be reliant on trying to land your Q. Okay, that's where most of your damage is gonna come from, right? So combos like EQ, for example, where we can net and then Q during the net animation. And we can also change the, we don't have to Q in the same direction we're netting. We can in fact change up the angle, so you can surprise some people. But usually you will in fact shoot it directly at the person you're netting a lot of times, right? A trick that I use to make sure you don't just miss straight up, because people are gonna be dodging when they run at you, is instead of immediately EQing, right, you should net, wait half a second to figure out where they're moving, and then Q, right? So for example, I would net and then like, oh shit, he's going that way. Slightly delay it by a little bit to figure out where they're going. Because if you just fire both here, it's highly likely it will miss, because you know they'll be moving and you haven't accounted for their movement. Okay, so EQ is the most basic. All right, so other combos that will help you, other ideas that will help you land Q in the early mid game include, of course, putting down traps to influence their movement, right? And of course, this leads us into trapping ideas. So when it comes to putting traps down, we want to make sure we're saving as much time as possible. Okay, so what I mean by that is we don't want to be like, we don't want it to look like this, right? Because this is, we're spending a lot of time to put down 3 traps. Can we make this faster? Well, we can't make it faster because there's a cooldown on putting down traps, but we can weave some actions in between putting down traps. So for example, we can put in auto attacks between traps, or we can put abilities between traps, right? So the secret, well, one of the secrets, I guess, to kind of mastering this champion is how effective can you be with your time, right? A good Caitlyn player can fit like 4 things in 2 seconds, whereas a new Caitlyn player will be able to put down like 2 things in 2 seconds. All right, so ideas behind trap. Okay, we want to insert actions before or after traps. So let's say, for example, I'm trying to hit this guy with Q. I'm gonna put a trap next to him before I press Q, and when he sees that trap, it'll influence him to not go that direction, so I can fire my Q in a certain spot, right? So this is combos that start with trap first. Totally fine. You can trap yourself, right? Trap yourself, auto attack, trap Q, right? Anything like that seems reasonable to me, right? Another way to help you land Q is to land some form of EW combo. And now the important part about early game EW combos, it doesn't have to hit them, right? People are like, oh shit, you have to like put it in front of them when they're chasing you so it like hits them. In my experience, it is unlikely you will be able to land this combo unless they're already CC'd. Okay, so what you need to do is, how can you use these traps and your net to influence their movement so that you can hit them with a full-on Q in the early mid game? Okay, so an example of this is EW combo. So just like how you can use your Q in the middle of your net, you can use your trap in the middle of the net, as long as you are trapping within your range before the net goes up. So for example, I can do that, right? This is my net, this is my max trap range, right? So I can EW, oops, sorry, that was a little bit of oopsie there. You can EW, right? Or sorry, this is a better example. Let's like net out of my trap range, so it's gonna be like this, right? You can do that, okay? So the idea behind EW is, of course, we're saving more time, right? Basically, anytime we use net, you want to fit some kind of combo in there. Default should be EW if you don't know what to do. Default should be EW yourself to where you're going. So like this, for example, right, to where we're going. It's kind of a little bit not far enough. So depending on how far you need to run, right, or where you're going, we should EW that far away. Okay, but anyways, let's go back to trying to hit the Q. So why are we talking about trap ideas and EW ideas? How does it all connect? Well, we can fit in actions before we do EW. It's really funny, right? So what you do is use a W to influence them to not go to the trap, and then you can hit him with an EW here, and now all you can do is move to up here and you'll fire the Q up there, right? So you can like W, auto attack, EW combo into Q, right? So the important part, thank you for the sub. The important part is kind of practicing these to the point where it's all kind of second nature. We can do this without thinking. Okay, it has to be kind of automatic, right? For you to be able to whip this stuff out in game. Because you know there are so many variations in the sense that these traps could be anywhere, right? So I could like W, auto attack, W, E, W, and then auto attack him and Q him while putting these 3 traps down over here to block someone, right? You can the ideas are like pretty wild. It can get pretty complex. Like say for example, there's ideas where you can like you know, people path along the wall. So I'm like walking towards here, it will make Caitlyn path along the wall. So we can do is trap the wall here, right? We can even do some crazy advanced stuff like we can trap one away from the wall so people think they're safe to walk along it, and then you can like EW, right, to block their path, and at the same time also be focusing someone else with EQ, right? We can be doing 2 things at the same time, right, against 2 different targets. Usually it will be against 1 target, okay, but I just want to give you guys ideas for you to practice, right? We need to multitask when we play this champion. So those are kind of like the basics, I would say, with Caitlyn Mechanics, okay? Some form of EW, some form of EQ, and being able to put traps down before we do these combos, and being able to put traps down in the middle of these combos, right? Some people can even do like EQ into EW into Q, right? I don't really use this one, but you can. I think it's a little bit, I want to fit more stuff in here, right? So this is what I would do, something like this, okay? But let's move on to some mechanics you do not know, or you probably have seen but you don't really know how to do, okay? So if you follow this channel at any length, you know that there are headshot auto cancel mechanics, right? So for those of you who are looking for a one-stop shop for all of the Caitlyn mechanics that I know, we will discuss headshot auto cancel. So if you guys do not, you know, if you guys are just learning Caitlyn, you just like skip this part or whatever. This is for like the advanced players. People like me who are practicing this stuff, we need to implement it in our games, okay? So like I said earlier, we're trying to fit more stuff into less time to be efficient, right? So we talked about putting traps down before actions and before combos. Now we're going to be talking about how can we min-max when we land a trap or a net, right? So if you watch any of my clips, you know that we can headshot auto cancel, right? And you're like, okay, what is a headshot auto cancel? Well, a headshot auto cancel is basically being able to proc the headshot auto attack immediately after auto attacking. Okay, and long ago, Riot removed the ability to do back-to-back headshot auto cancels. So for example, I cannot head back-to-back headshot auto cancel, but I can do it again when the auto attack timer is reset. Okay, so you can see we're basically immediately doing the headshot auto attack. Now, how do you do this? Okay, so the easiest way, or sorry, the way that I have learned it. I think there is another way to do it now. Like pretty sure you can like right click sometimes or something. I don't even know honestly. But the foolproof method is attack move. Okay, and what you need to attack move is you need to attack the target, of course, that you are going to headshot. But the trick is you cannot click on them, okay? So if you click on them, like directly on them, like if you left click directly on them, it's not gonna work, right? You need to click on the ground near them. It needs to target them, but not highlight the target you're hitting, okay? So what it looks like is this, right? So of course, every time you land a trap, right? It's really funny. Every time you land a trap, instead of immediately hitting them like this, again, we should insert actions before we go for the headshot so we can, you know, be more efficient. So for example, we can like fit more combos in and then headshot auto cancel, or we can fit an auto attack to get, you know, more damage before we headshot auto cancel, right? You can do some, I don't know, we can like do some crazy stuff like, well, don't miss the timing, okay? You don't have infinite amount of time to proc the headshot, but you have like enough time to do one thing, maybe 2 things. Like, I don't know, you could try and go for an EQ, but I would not recommend it, okay? You have time to do one thing. Okay, let's start from there. So the classic is throw in an auto attack, all right? On a different target, right? So it looks like this, okay? So you want to practice this in the practice tool until you can do this without thinking. And then when you land a headshot target, like with a trap or a net, then you will be pre-programmed to like, oh shit, can I fit something in real quick before I proc it? And then go proc the headshot, okay? Now, there are more headshot auto cancel ideas we can talk about, like on CC, we can trap, and if you know the trap is going off, you can auto attack before the trap goes off, then headshot auto cancel on the same target, right? Because the trap hasn't gone off yet, you can still hit that target without proccing a headshot, right? So what it looks like is this. So it looks like it's just 2 auto attacks really fast, right? So yeah, that's a classic call, especially with like Morgana binding, Lux binding. It's basically when you have a lot of time and you know the trap's gonna go off, right? Unfortunately, obviously it doesn't work on like Zhonya's in GA, but I'm sure you knew that, okay? So now that we talk about you know, headshot auto cancel mechanics, let's dive deep into Galeforce ideas. So you know, Galeforce, I just want you guys to think of Galeforce as a way to gap close for you to do your combos. So like this, right? Galeforce to get closer. But Galeforce can also be used to headshot auto cancel. So for example, for net, we can't really attack anything while we're netting. So it's like, oh, we can't headshot auto cancel with net, right? But if you use your Galeforce, you can get out of your net animation, like so. Sorry. The timing is a little bit tight, but I showed this in the beginning of the season, right? But we can cancel with a short dash Galeforce. I probably have like a better explanation, longer explanation if you guys want to look that up. But basically, we're going to use our Galeforce short dash version to cancel our net, and the timing is EW combo. So when you EW combo, you can't just do it immediately, right? If you practice in the practice tool, you'll figure it out. But you need to wait like a 1/4 of a second or half a second before you put the trap down. And the same with Galeforce. We cannot just Galeforce immediately, because that's what it looks like, right? We need to wait a 1/4 or a half of a second so we can cancel it, right? And of course, since you're free after the net, after you cancel the net animation, we can fit an auto attack, right? So if we want to headshot auto cancel, it looks like that, right? So we auto attack, we E, we net, cancel it with Galeforce, auto attack, net lands, headshot auto cancel, like so, okay? And you know, if we want to get more complicated, we can throw a flash in there. Okay. So yeah, that's how that works. Okay. And then some more clever ideas that work in very specific spots. But let's say, for example, we want to headshot auto. You know, the idea behind headshot auto cancel with net is that we need to be able to cancel the net somehow with flash or Galeforce. Oh, I didn't show you flash. Let me show you real quick. It's the same thing with the Galeforce timing. You wait a 1/4 of a second, and then you flash to cancel your net animation, and you auto attack and you headshot auto cancel, right? Anyways, let's go to the wall here. Another way to cancel net is with a fat wall, okay? So if we cancel our net, oops, sorry, that was a little bit of a automatic Galeforce usage. If we cancel our net against the wall, we can it cancels our net, and we can auto attack before the net lands, right? Now, you might be asking, why are these important? I thought all your damage comes from Q. You're right, up until you hit level 13 with any amount of crit, okay? Then our headshot, our damage shifts to headshot crits, right? So now we don't really care about landing Q so much as we do about landing traps and nets, because these will kill people. And also auto attacks, which is why the headshot auto cancels are super important, right? These headshot auto cancel mechanics are more relevant the later the game goes, okay? Because you can do things, for example, like this, where if we have a headshot ready in Galeforce, and this is a carry, right? And we just did like what, like 2,000 damage. I know I don't have like armor and health and whatever, but you can see where this is going, right? With 6 items, we're gonna blow someone up, especially if you can flash on them. Well, flash net is already kind of crazy, right? But if you flash net with Galeforce and a headshot ready from your passive, then they're double dead. It does double damage, right? So yeah, it's basically ways to find out how to get a headshot, okay? Now, the combos don't change, still W and then EW, right? But we're much less focused on Q and more focused on landing the EW or kiting with EW. So one thing that's really important to practice is, you know, we're gonna trap before the EW combo, and we're gonna put all the traps to where we're running away to, because this is a renekton, right? So trap EW, and we piecing out like this. And the idea is that you don't want him to be able to like flash over the trap. So let's see how far we can go, right? You need to practice this. This is how far you want to go, right? This is a mistake, okay? I do this all the time. This perfectly on top of you, it's a mistake, because you are gonna be kiting after, and this trap no longer works. Because Z ulti just dashes to you, right? Yeah, you've seen all these champions. This, I mean, let's say it's like, you're saying like, it's an Aurelia, she's gonna dash over it. No, she's gonna flash over it, okay? You really want to avoid that from happening. So, But yeah, hopefully this helped. These are pretty much all the mechanics I could think of off the top of my head. And let me know if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, right? I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.